My name is Beth Hiley here with Board Game Geek TV at Gen Con 2014. I'm sitting down with the fine guys from Black Locust Games. I've got Aaron Young over here and Casey Willett over there. How are you both?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm excellent. I had to, right before we started filming this, I was having to practice the game name a little bit since it's in Latin, which of course makes it impressive and intimidating, which is Regnum Angelica.
Yeah.
And I can tell you guys both that people were commenting on the cover art before we started filming also, so that was quite striking and interesting. So yay! Little did you know people were interested in that already.
Exactly.
So you were telling me the translation in Latin
is Kingdom of Angels. Yep. And actually, we had a thread on the Board Game Geek website, and it was a lot of the users that gave us various recommendations, and then we put it to a vote to our backers when we were on Kickstarter, and that was the winning one. So our title actually came from a Board Game Geek user.
Not to toot our own horn, but isn't that nice?
It is.
All right, so what are we looking at when we play? What's our goal, first of all? Thematically, what's our goal?
Sure, the theme of the game is basically playing out an epic battle that I think a lot of people have wanted to see, and they like to read about it in books, they like to see it in movies, which is the Archangels led by Gabriel against the fallen angels led by Beelzebub, many different
Beelzebub,
however you want to say it.
The bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. So basically what they're doing in the game, each player has two decks of cards, or each player has a deck of cards, and they're distinctive decks. The white deck is for the Archangels, and the black deck is for the fallen angels. Now, unlike most traditional card games, both of the decks are symmetrical. They're the same exact decks that have the same exact abilities. So we wanted to make a chess-like game that had elements of Magic the Gathering, Summoner Wars, stuff like that. So we were trying to cater to a crowd that likes card games, fantasy card games, but they don't particularly like buying booster packs or trying to keep up with every new card that's out. They just want to play two decks that are the same against one another to see who's the better card player at utilizing the powers and the resources and the abilities versus who's the better deck builder, who can build the better deck, who has the deepest wallet to buy the best cards and all that stuff. So that's what we were kind of going for. So in each deck, there are basically three different types of cards. There's angel cards, so that's one of the white archangels, and this is one of the dark fallen angels. There's angelic scripts, and those are going to basically be like your special abilities, your spells, if you will, that you can play during the game to kind of alter what's going on in the game. And then there's pillar cards, which are basically defensive augmentations that you can add to your angels. Now the combat's kind of unique in this particular game. We use a rock, paper, scissors mechanic using fire, earth, and water. So what makes it a little bit unique, you'll notice that each angel card has like a little compass with the elements lined up all the way around the compass. It depends on how the angels face each other on the battlefield as to which element is used. For example, if this fallen angel is attacking this angel, he's attacking in a head-first direction, so he would be using his element of fire. And she would be defending with earth. Fire beats earth, so he would defeat this angel and be able to move into that spot. If we were going from this direction...
Oh, all right. So they'd be fighting with earth. They would be defending with water.
Water, exactly. And if you run into a situation, which I'm trying to see if these cards have one, I don't think they do, but if you run into a situation where two cards have the same elements, here's one. This is a good example. If two angels have the same exact element, in this case it's earth versus earth, there's a little number that's in the gold shield, and that's the rank of that particular angel. The rank serves a twofold purpose. It's how many points that angel scores when you reach the other end of the board, You're trying to get to 35. That's the object of the game.
So a critical mass of opponent forces in that.
Exactly. So it determines how many points you get when you get to the other end of the board, and it also determines tiebreakers when two similar elements are paired against each other. So this one's a rank 3, this one's a rank 3. In the rare event, like in this case, that you actually have two similar elements and two similar ranks, they both destroy each other in battle.
All right, that makes sense.
But if one of these had a higher rank, that would actually be the winning angel. Each angel also has a little special ability underneath their picture, which comes into play when they hit the game board. The little number that's in the black circle is the maximum number of spaces that angel can move per turn. So for example, this angel can move 1-2 spaces, and this angel could move 1-2 spaces if they wanted to. And so that's kind of a brief overview as to the core of the mechanics and how the game works.
The idea is essentially get your angels to infiltrate the other person's realm. First person to score to 35 wins. So it's just a 2-player, tactical, strategic board game.
Now, did you guys, I'm guessing that there's all unique card art here for all your different angels.
Yes.
Is it each team? So and there's unique art for both the light and the dark as well?
There is, yep.
Yes, that's the only distincting factor between the two decks is the card art. But the abilities, the attack orientations to each card
Snuggle in.
are the same.
Now, you had mentioned that we do have a couple of sort of, and as I was laying out some of for artwork, we do have a couple of these sort of special power cards. How would those work?
Yeah. So here's another pretty cool thing about the game. The special ability cards, they have a cost associated with it, like this one costs 1. Each side has a little power meter that you keep track of your power during the game. So in order to play this particular card, it would cost you 1 power. So then a lot of people ask, okay, so how do I get power then? There's 2 different ways you can get power during the game. If one of your angels ends his or her movement on the Roman numeral 2, you will charge 2 power.
Okay.
1 is 1, and if you land in the center of the board, you immediately get to draw another card and add it to your hand. That's one way. The other way is towards the end of your turn phase, if you have a card in your hand that you do not need or do not want at this particular time, you can opt to burn it for the cost. Instead of paying the cost to get the ability, you can sacrifice the ability for the power cost instead. The spin on it is, since both decks are symmetrical, if you sacrifice a card for a power, you do so knowing that your opponent still has that card somewhere in his deck, and he may not opt to do the same thing that you did. He may decide to deploy that particular ability to play against you during the game.
Thus creating now a card advantage, even though you may have the power advantage.
Exactly.
And they're played at any time, even during the other person's turn. So
whenever would be strategically viable.
Yep.
Now, would you mind handing me the box tab? Is this the plan for every box to have a pretty spectacular foam insert there?
The foam insert, yes. This was the advanced copy that we got from our printers, and that is going to be in every single copy.
Box. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, how long do you think a full game would take you, on average?
It takes us typically about, since we know the cards, we know everything, we play up to 35 in about 30 minutes or so.
Right.
20, sometimes 20 minutes. We see new people who are playing the game and don't know the cards, it can take an hour, sometimes a little bit more to score all the way up there. But once you get familiar with the decks, it plays pretty quick.
Now, how are people going to be able to get their hands on this if they say, ooh, this looks fantastic. I must have this.
So right now, the printing just got completed on this game, and it is currently on a ship on its way to the Amazon fulfillment center. So we're anticipating having it.
It was on its way to the Amazon.
It's on its way to the Amazon. Yes, we're sending all of our games to the Amazon.
I'm sorry. Please continue.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, it's Sunday.
Yeah. So they're going to the Amazon fulfillment centers. Once they reach the Amazon fulfillment centers, which we're expecting in October, they'll be able to order either off Amazon or our website, which is blacklocustgames.com.
Beautiful.
Now, If they do that, they'll pay the MSRP, which will be $49.95. Right now, we're actually running a special to where they can pre-order the game before October directly on our site for the same price as the Kickstarter price, which was $40. And that will actually include your shipping as well.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, we always like to hear that. Well, thank you both. Oh, here, let me grab the very nice and impressive box top again for bringing by Regnum Angelica.
Yes. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure.